Leonardo, and today with me, while I paint figurines, is my friend Janet from another planet. Janet, how are you today?
I'm good.
Excellent. The movie we just watched, probably one of your more favorite films, from what I understand of you. You really like the movie Swordfish, right?
hmm Loved it.
You saw that movie in theaters, or no?
Yeah, I think so. My sister invited me to go.
Interesting little film.
hmm
It is it's a favorite around a lot of Gen Xers I know that really thought it was just a fun popcorn film. Nothing wrong with popcorn films, okay? I'm not trying to bust anybody's balls for loving popcorn movies. They're amazing. They're great.
Yeah.
Uh, this movie is so out of what the norm was at the time, but it was released in either June or July of 2001. I think I want to say it was June. And it was the same year that Holly Berry was in the movie called Monsters Ball. But then later on that summer,
Really?
yeah,
I didn't realize that.
this was her gearing up to be nude in Monsters Ball. She had to get her confidence up, and it wasn't there yet. So she shows this movie, and she does what she does in this film. And I was pretty much not expecting this at all, at any level whatsoever. I when Holly Berry did that, I just seen her. I just discovered her like the year before.
Well, the scene where she's walked in on and she's wearing barely any clothes, just a teeny tiny thong and her little tiny bra. To me, she seemed more vulnerable than she did when she was sitting with that thing in front of her, sunning or reading a book. So, you know.
So if we have friends that are out there that want to see this movie, there is a version of it on YouTube. I would not recommend. Do not recommend, because the comment section for Swordfish via YouTube are already starting to get populated with, why'd you cut out the scene where Holly Berry puts down the newspaper? She's got a bikini top on. You're not going to see the goods, kids. Don't watch this. It's really not an R. It is free this month, but don't do that.
Oh, if you're a woman, you're not missing anything. If you're a guy that just wants to see two nipples,
She's got them. That's about
I
it.
know. If you want to see them, that's all you're missing.
Here, no. You're missing about 15 minutes of movie, because they edited. This is usually like an hour and 39-minute movie, and they cut 14 minutes of it out. I don't know why YouTube feels they have to do this, but whenever you watch this film, be looking for the minute counter for at least an hour and 39 minutes. If you're watching that, you're seeing the theatrical cut like we did. To my knowledge, there's not a director's cut, but this is something that you want to make yourself aware of. There's two versions of this movie, one of which has been sanitized. I don't know what else is out of it, but the movie has some wonkiness to it, because John Travolta kind of comes off like a spook in this film. And I think if they edit his character too much, he's going to just turn into this like random bad guy.
Yeah, but I don't think that's the stuff they edit out.
No, they edited out probably some nudity, some gore, the things that make people triggered, or just like, that's such a poor term for.
Well, the thing is, I think they edited out stuff like, parts of the explosion with the bullets, or what do you call those little balls?
The ball bearings,
things like that, little things that really don't take away from the story. They don't take away from getting understanding what's going on in the movie.
Yeah.
Unless you want to see her nipples, if you have to see her nipples or you're going to die, then, don't watch it on here. But honestly, I don't think it will take too much away from the movie.
I would recommend not watching on here for the exact opposite reason. I want you to see the movie like you were watching it in theater. I want you to see what.
Yeah, but if it's free and they already have it, they already have YouTube. They might as well watch it on YouTube. Is what I'm trying to say. Save them a few dollars, and then if they really like it, then go get the director's cut somewhere else and watch it.
But there's plenty of good versions of this, or good locations on the web where you can find this film. And I think it stands up on the fact that there's a lot of implied violence with the talk of the terrorism. The start of the film, you have John Travolta kind of being he's pretty much just aberrant. He's willing to kill people to make a point, and he's willing to be just a bad, nasty guy to make a point. But
Yeah, at the beginning, because at the beginning of the movie, you thinking he's a like a gangster that's just sells drugs and makes money, that way. He's a drug seller or gun seller,
yeah,
terrorist type person.
but
But
as it goes
as
on,
yeah, as it unfolds.
he comes off like an inside guy that's got something. He's got an agenda, and he's got there's definitely things he's going to do to make his life enriched and to make other people's lives almost meaningless. And he comes off as a very good villain in this movie. I was really impressed with how the movie held up 2 decades after I saw it, because I've not
Mhm.
seen it since. And for those of you wanting to know about why is Janet got the name Helga on there, Helga's the name of the assistant that helps.
She's not really an assistant.
She helps him hack.
Well, he
I should
Hugh
try.
Jackman's character just got out of prison for hacking into a government website and making some changes, and they caught him. So he was in prison for it. Well, he just got out, and he's trying to figure out a way to make some money legitimately. And he's working on, like, isn't it oil rig or something, oil
Mhm.
fields?
Yeah,
Uh,
he's doing maintenance
and
on oil field stuff.
yeah, and he's trying to save money so he can see his daughter that he hasn't got to spend time with because he's been in prison. And his wife is remarried to a porn king who produces porns. So his wife's got money now. She's really attractive, and she's in some of his films, things like that. And he hates the fact that that's who's in charge, of his daughter's life now. So he's trying to figure out a way to be able to see his daughter again, because he's forbidden to see her because of his criminal past. So when Halle Berry's character approaches him, she's like Gabriel's woman, the bad guy, terrorist guy, and she's trying to get him to try out to see whether or not he can do this hacking job for him and make $10 million, so that maybe he can use that to help get his daughter, or get to see her, get partial custody, or to fight in court for her, even
And
though it's a criminal history.
and the lady that she is, it's Drea De Matteo, and you might recognize her from The Sopranos, where she played uh, Chris's girlfriend Adriana La Serva
Hmm.
and La Serva.
She's
But
like a prostitute or a call girl
no,
in the
she's not.
movie.
In this movie here, she's just a greedy mom. But
Oh, I'm talking about Hilga.
oh, Helga is the prostitute.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Hilga and her friends, because that's how they're listed on IMDb. Is
hooker.
They're like high price call girls. So I couldn't dress up as Halle Berry, so I figured I'd dress up as another woman who had a very intricate part in making sure that Hugh Jackman got hired, because that's a hard scene too. I don't know if anybody's out there has been doing any type of acting jobs, but to get hired to be someone who goes down between someone's legs during the movie and be believable, I thought she did a pretty good job,
Yeah, she
and
kept
so
a
did
straight
he.
face.
So, and the fact that when she gets finished and she gets back in the chair and she tries to kiss him, I thought that was hilarious. It was very believable though, the whole scene, I thought.
This is not my favorite hooker scene of all Celluloid. My favorite hooker scene is still the movie Running Scared with Paul Walker. That has the best. That has no wait. That's my second favorite hooker scene. My favorite hooker scene in all of Celluloid is still Super Mario Brothers, when they have the Latvian hookers trying to be dancers in a club, and it's not working out. Mario and Luigi just walk right past him to talk to King Koopa.
Well, the other scene I thought was pretty good with the high class girlfriend of the mafia guy
Mhm.
was that movie that we watched, and she's singing I'm your woman or whatever in Russian. Remember that
Oh
movie?
God.
What was the name of that movie? That
Let's
was great. I love that one. That scene was really good. She did a good job getting pissed off
yes.
because he told her to shut up. God, it was a good movie. It was all the spies that were getting together to fight back, and I can't remember the name of it right this minute, but that was one of my
It's not
favorites.
Red, is it? You're not
Yeah,
talking.
Red. That's it.
Okay.
Remember her?
Yeah. Yep.
And she's wearing a cowboy hat and she's trying to sing a country western song. She's
Trying,
Russian.
trying to sing,
Yeah,
trying.
it was hilarious.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's I just thought I'd dress up as the blonde bimbo, prostitute.
We appreciate. I appreciate. My friends appreciate.
But
Um,
that's why I'm dressed like this. I'm playing Hilda, her character. But yeah, I love this movie. I thought the movie had so many twists and turns, phenomenal acting, wonderful sets. The direction was great. I thought the director did a very good job at the angles that he used. Um,
well, this director's he's a ex music director, so that's one of the reasons why the music and why the angles kind of keep changing. You have this very big
not
kinetic
boring.
energy. No, it's not boring at all. It's a very kinetic film,
Hmm.
and it capitalizes a lot at the soundtrack capitalizes a lot on the grooves of the time. So if you watch this movie, you're gonna be like, oh God, I remember this when it came out. And you're gonna feel like your gray hairs are disappearing for a little bit, but it is a very well done film. It consistently keeps evolving, and you see uh, kind of the perspective of the leads change as the movie continues on. But it's well worth your time if you've not seen Operation Swordfish. I call it Operation Swordfish because that's the movie that I was shown when I went to go see it way back in the day. And then the American version is Swordfish. I don't know why. I don't know why they changed it overseas. Um,
I don't either. I've
this
always called it Swordfish.
it's a very fun movie. You have everything that you want for a popcorn munching film. Great kinetic energy. The the cameras are properly placed. The scene at the beginning of the movie, a lot of people were harkened it back to a movie 2 years before this called The Matrix, where they used like 135 cameras rotating around an explosion, and the explosion wasn't explosive enough, so they added a little bit of CGI flair to it. But they still did a very Matrix-esque scene where they have an object in focus, then they do a whole half circle around it, photographing everybody as they get tossed to oblivion from this explosion. Which it was a fairly good explosion. There is some CGI in the film, but it's not really super distractive. There's a big difference. Uh, did you like Holly Berry's character?
Yeah, so I thought it was very believable. And what was interesting about it is the way that they manipulated people. Halle Berry and John Travolta's character were very good at the misdirection that they talked about over and over again. And I love the fact that they started the movie at the towards the end of the movie in
Mhm.
that one scene and worked your way back to that exact scene to find out what was going on and why they were doing that, because they were robbing a bank, but they weren't actually taking money from the bank. They were using their systems, their computer system, to connect to the world wide web, I guess, the worldwide banking web. And that was what was so important. And the whole scene where I'm clenching my fist was where he had his daughter and he's trying to leave, walking away, and the whole thing starts going shutting down. So he got caught trying to steal. But remember what he said when Gabriel landed in the helicopter in the one scene with the senator, right? The senator that knew who he was, because
Sam
it was
Shepard.
almost like I've gone to 4 or 5 different spaces with government people in there that talk ex-government. And there's a woman, and she's been on my show, the After Hours, a colonel. She's a retired colonel. And she was talking about a project called Operation Gladio, where the CIA uses money that they funnel from different places in the government and our soldiers and things like that to perform coups or whatever to get certain people out of office and put their person there they want in, things like that. So it's a very entertaining program when she has herself, and she has a Substack, I'm pretty sure. But she's, you need to look her up. Her name's Townsend, Colonel Townsend, or something like that.
Okay.
Just send me a message on my Discord or my X, and I will send you her links, because she's very good if you're into intrigue, and but you want real intrigue that's about our real government, about the CIA and stuff. Just ask me about that, because that's what that's one reason why I asked Bruce to put this movie on the list, is because there's so many similarities to the Gabriel character, and having people like that in our government. Then that's all they do. They just do whatever they want, basically. And they don't like being on a leash, as we find out what happens to the senator, because he was playing with the wrong person. You know what I mean? But the fact that he would get a helicopter and land right there where the senator's out there fishing, without Secret Service or whatever.
Kind of a dick move.
Yeah, it was kind of a dick move, but he did it because that's how deep he was in the government. And I thought it was very interesting, because he said, I've changed my face so many times, I don't even know who I am anymore. I love that line that he used, because basically that's what was it, MK Ultra. If you listen to any of RFK Jr.'s or JF, is it, yeah, RFK Jr.'s speeches that he's done about it, that's what he talks about. He talks about how our government has brainwashed soldiers and other people using chemicals, which is drugs, and other torture, whatever, to get people to be slaves for the government and do what they're told, commit violence or whatever. So I just love it. I thought this movie made a lot of that very realistic. There was a movie that came out years ago with Mel Gibson. I can't remember, what's it called? The Pelican Breach or something?
In brief.
And he was like everybody thought he was nuts, but he wasn't. Everything he was saying was true.
Oh no, that's conspiracy theory.
Oh, well, that movie, that one, that also reminds me of this.
You've got Julia Roberts and Pat Stewart is in that film.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. I think I asked you to put that on the list too.
Citing all the stuff that like the government's gotten involved with and just completely fucked up. Whenever you buy a Catcher in the Rye, like there's a little wire transmit that goes over to DC, like, hey, one of your pets is over here.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very interesting film. This movie came at a really odd time, because they were talking about, I mean, not really odd time. Let me restate this. This movie came out right as surveillance was kind of hitting some of the various talk shows. And they're talking about, like, well, we need to have surveillance on the World Wide Web if it's going to be used all the time. Because right now, we need to know who's using the web and who's ordering what and who's doing this, that, and the other. And other people were like, no, we need it to be a place for anonymity, where people can talk, where people can.
Who was telling you that in the movie?
So as we watch this film, that's one of the key statements made in this movie. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, 3 months after this movie is released, we have the greatest tragedy committed upon the American people by our own government, because that's exactly who fucking did it. And you're not going to convince me otherwise. I've seen episodes, I've seen footage, I've seen actual footage on actual tapes, not digital footage, of the fucking towers, of everything going on. And there used to be a company that was CIA and government tied called BNSF. And BNSF got into everything, but you guys might just remember BNSF as being one, there was a railway division, if I remember right. But secondly, there was a BNSF media. And one of the media things they did, they tried getting into Hollywood, and they always tried to tell people, we get a hold of things and we just make them bigger and better. And apparently some spooks took that mindset, and it's bad enough we have airliners going into the trade towers, but then to plant explosives directly into the buildings, that's just fucking criminal. And those people that are responsible for that, they'll never see a light. They'll never see a dark day inside a jail cell or a prison cell. So this movie came out at an odd time. This was kind of like somebody was trying to wake us up. Hey, you guys need to be made aware there's enemies within your midst, and they're the guys that you're paying taxes to. Not everybody in Washington's a dickhead, but there's a lot of people there that are taking money and putting operations in place that don't really benefit you, me, or some guy in Missouri. So just be made aware of that. And it's been like that for generations. It'll continue to be like that for generations.
Mm-hmm.
Sadly, as much as I would like to think we have, Return of the King going on, he's only there for 4 years. And even if Vance gets in, that cabinet's going to be diluted with a bunch of commie pieces of shit that'll further the goals of the U.S. government, not those.
Maybe.
I'm sorry. I don't have a lot of faith in the government. I love the guys we vote in. I despise the bureaucrats that never leave. That's my biggest problem.
Somebody's got to take Trump's place, and we just have to pay attention to who it is that we feel deserves to take his place by the jobs that they're doing.
Okay, I'm going to ask you this because this was put to me last week after we listened to a different podcast. But a friend of mine asked me, she says, do you think the Biden we saw for 4 years was the Joe Biden that was going around and talking to people? Or do you think if it was the real Biden, do you think he's been chemically altered to be a dunce and just stumble around looking for ice cream? And I said, I think that's closer to anything else that I've heard lately, because Biden was completely unmasked in the final year and a half trying to sell, somebody's trying to sell Kamala to us. And
I think he was an old man with dementia, and they drugged him up just to make him be able to do the little bit that he was able to do. That's what I believe. Because many times when he first came out, the first year, he had tons and tons of bruises on his hands and stuff. Yeah. And that's from having tons of IVs. Every time he's in a plane or in a car, they're giving him IV to give him more, pump him full of whatever, Adderall or whatever they have to get him to have a pulse.
He was literally a puppet.
Yeah, he was drugged up 24/7. And that's why I said his wife should be arrested for elder abuse, for letting them do that to him just to keep him alive. A lot of people, undercover people from Tucker's people, and what's the other guy's name? Damn it. The one that sued for $1 billion or whatever for saying the school wasn't really attacked by a terrorist or whatever. I can't remember. Alex Jones, him. Both of their people from both of their teams said that they had people inside that told them that basically he walked around naked, yelling and climbing on stuff. He was just messed up. And that's why they kept him locked up most of the time. Do you honestly believe someone they kept in the basement that only had very few hundred people show up at all the different things that he did and get 81 million votes? This is the way. They cheated their way in. They got him in there, dunce in chief, and he was just they basically had him strapped on a dolly and pushed him around. And changed his diaper, and that's basically what we had. And that's coming out. More and more evidence is going to come out saying he was not fit before he was even elected. And I knew he wouldn't be on a second term because there's no way. He was a zombie already. So, and I know that Trump won't run again. So hopefully I've been paying attention to a lot of people that I feel could take his position, and we'll just have to wait and see. But as of right now, I think so far, J.D. Vance went from a young, poor kid that was raised by a single mother to somebody who might have potentially be president of the United States. And I think he has a chance to do that. So we'll have to wait and see. I'm not going to put all my eggs in one basket and say I don't trust anybody. I have to trust someone. Okay. I didn't trust Trump at first. Right. Mm-hmm. And so, that's just the way it is. But that's one reason why I wanted to pick this movie, is because so many things in this movie remind me of what's going on right now with the cloak and dagger bullcrap with our government and what they've been able to get away with. And I love at the very ending when you see the yacht pulling away and then you see it turns into a television screen, basically talking about some person with a name from another country. Last name that sounds like familiar, from Ghazi or whatever,
Yeah.
Gaza, whatever. And then you see it blow up, like all the ships that Trump and Hegseth and them are taking out, filled with drugs coming to our country. And we should do that. We're supposed to be America first, and other countries should be their country first.
Yeah.
If they cared about their people, they should take care of their people first, not everyone else. Cater to everyone else, spend your money on everyone else and not your own people. That's not a government that I would vote for. And that's why I voted for Trump. So.
Hi, baby girl. I'm glad you love this movie and you own it. It's a very good film. Shadow, there's a link in the chat here for Janet's chat. You go over there and you can watch 85-minute edit of the movie. There is a hour and 39 theatrical version out there as well. Both of them are pretty good. One of them you're not going to see Halle Berry's boobs. If you're okay with that, 85 minutes is a good movie. Okay,
it's a great movie. But yeah, it's the whole concept of intertwining. Okay, you have a man, Gabriel, who started out, from what we can gather a little bit, that as a soldier or whatever, believing what he was doing was the right thing for the country, basically. Mm-hmm. Whether he was brainwashed into it or whether they were MK Ultra into it, right? Yeah. Or whether he just nuts, and thinks he's helping the country because he's a terrorist or whatever. But he, just like he said at the very beginning, everyone wants a happy ending, right? So basically he was intertwining and giving us the idea that government is involved in making movies and wanting people to root for the right side, and he was trying to fulfill that basically with his job. And his job was working for the government. And you had a senator that was involved. And then the whole thing about Halle Berry saying that she worked for DEA, she was DEA, was to keep the hacker to hack, to make him believe that there was someone on the inside that needed him to do his job. And for him to have some kind of a kinship to, because at the end, as you see, they pretend to hang her like she's dying, right? Mm-hmm. So that he'll put the numbers in and save her life, because they know he's not a killer. They know he's not a terrorist. He's just a hacker.
That scene was not added in by the Mossad for you to think that there would be like little Jewish kids that get hurt. That absolutely would never happen. AIPAC would never pay for something, like, oh my God, we got to make the Palestinians look scarier so people will like send money to help out, get this Gaza leveled. Oh wait, did I say that aloud? I'm sorry. No, I really felt like this movie pokes a lot at the bear of surveillance and control throughout the entire Beltway area, shithole of DC. And I think it's kind of interesting how the entire movie just never once really stops to check its own pulse and make sure that, like, all right, do you still believe us? Okay, we're going to keep going here. And it just consistently churns. It's a good movie.
And it's not just that, it's different layers of different things going on all the time. Okay. Yep. You go from the one cop who was the original person that put the hacker in jail, right? To begin with, for breaking into the government website. Then you have those people, which is in the FBI. Then you have local cops that are here and there in the different businesses, like you see when the SWAT comes to get that woman in that real intense scene at the opening scene, where you have Gabriel talking to what's his name again? Hugh Jackman's character.
Hugh Jackman's character in this movie.
I can't remember his name.
It's called Stanley.
Oh, Stanley. Okay. Stanley is sitting there with Gabriel and they're talking, having coffee in a coffee shop. And then he explains to him that, well, you can't do any of those things to transfer the money if you don't have a bank. And then he goes, look across the street. So he looks, and that's when you realize that's the opening scene is in that bank, and in that bank is where most of the stuff happens with the kidnapped people that they have taken. They ram two big Humvees into the bank. Then there's a big armored bus that pulls up right in front. And as the people are screaming and running, they're grabbing them and putting these vests on them and zipping them up and then clicking this collar thing on it with lights that blink on and off. So we don't know what it is. And they hustle them onto the bus. Then we find out that they're using the victims, which are the hostages now, and they tell the people over the radio, hey, all of these people are wired with C4 vests filled with ball bearings. And if they get too far away from the bus, they will explode and become the largest Claymore mines ever made, right?
Largest walking Claymore mines ever made.
Yeah, and they don't listen. The head guy that's supposed to be running everything won't listen to the lower guy, which is the one that was
Don Cheadle plays Roberts. He's kind of got an idea of what's going on here, and
so he's trying to tell them, don't do that. And they grab that woman. That's what was so intense that she's screaming, no, because she knows she's going to die. She believed what they said when they put that vest on her and that collar, and they still drag her away. And as they drag her away, she explodes, and you see ball bearings going everywhere. And it's a slow motion scene, which I freaking love. Did you love that scene?
135 cameras, all timed to go and photograph this scene individually
from every angle, like going around. It was awesome.
And it does a very good job. This is very Matrix-esque. The Matrix did it first, but this movie does a very good job of photographing a scene centered on an explosion. And I thought that was really well done. I'm not going to besmirch that. There's a little bit of CGI in there to kind of highlight some things, give a little bit more.
But it came out in 1991, so
2001.
Oh, 2001? Okay.
Yeah, 3 months before the towers came down.
Oh, that's right.
And this movie kind of warned us about that. But this is a very, very fun film and very well put together. We have a comment in chat I've had on screen for a second. Bruce, are you familiar with the rumors that Osama bin Laden worked for the CIA under the alias Tim Osman? That's not the only alias I've heard he worked under. There was other aliases I heard he had. And he was pretty useful to us until he realized that we're probably not going to do any good for your country. And then all of a sudden he turns, and he does his thing. And I believe he was involved after that with the 1993 attack when they used a Ryder truck to try to use a fertilizer shipment.
Oklahoma City?
No. The basement of the World Trade Center had a Ryder truck.
I do believe that he was a CIA agent, and I think he did have multiple names.
Yeah.
And the reason why, I think one of the reasons why they didn't want Trump in there, because when you have someone in there that's going to do their own thing and that nobody owns, right? He's a fire. He's going to cause a problem, and it's going to be harder to control what he's doing. So they have to control as many people as they possibly could around him. That's why his first administration was so corrupt, had so many freaking losers pinned.
We did the right thing. We voted the right people in that were able to be voted in for the most part. But we have other positions in our government. And if we don't evict people that are leeches and cultural termites, we don't get them out of the government. No matter how much work we do from the outside in, the inside's still corrupt. And therefore, the cancer is not going to go away. You're going to have these people embedded in government. And that's time wasted until it gets resolved.
That's why I believe that now that Trump's in there and they're bringing out all this information about Obama, a lot of this stuff we're not going to be able to do much about it. The underlings definitely, but I don't know what's going to happen with Obama because we've never had something like this happen before. I just don't know what type of what's going to happen with him or how we're going to be able to punish him for some of this stuff, even if we have tons of evidence. I just don't know how we're going to work this out because I do think he was paid for by the government to do certain things, and that's why we got a clean house.
Yep.
But we got to have it come out anyways, even if we can't, hang him or whatever for treason. we need the facts to come out, and it needs to be in the history books again, so that our young people understand what happened, so that we can try not to let that happen again. People become complacent, and it's just, we don't care. Watch
Yeah.
out if it doesn't happen. But
And,
that's
and
why this movie is great to watch right now, because it'll really make you think about all the stuff that's coming out now, that it's not so far-fetched to believe any of it, especially when you're seeing it unfold in a movie. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And you can see that it could be possible. And if you have evidence, to maybe sit back and listen a little bit and pay attention, because you know, I believe a lot of this stuff is real stuff, and I really do believe in this. That's why this movie to me was so, um, I don't know, intense. And I even believed a lot of it back when I first watched it. So
I didn't want to believe this movie when I first saw it. That was like about a month before the event happened. And then
mhm.
after the movie happened, I wouldn't shut up about this film for about a year, because I'm like, this movie kind of reminds me of Enemy of the State. And it had a lot going on. And it really tried, I felt like it was a warning. And my friends that are, they've gone through their schooling. Hey, we just went through the Mustang program. We just became O1s after doing like E5 and E6. Bruce, shut the fuck up. And I'm like, what? And that was something that kind of got passed around with the beers that night. Uh, the Enemy State movie has Gene Hackman and Will Smith in it. Probably Will Smith's finest movie. If I look at his entire career, he did a really good job for a lot of different films. But I think Enemy of the State's his best film, and that movie has Gene Hackman in it as the
Yeah,
supporting
I like
actor.
Gene Hackman.
Fucking amazing film, and it touches on a lot of this as well. This is before everybody had a website. 1996 was a magical time. You guys will never know what it's like to live in 1996, when your favorite movie might not have a movie website attached to it. There might not be trailers available for it. There might not be media feed going on every 2 hours about your most upcoming favorite Disney Plus show. The 90s are a period of time we will never get back. And as much as I would love to, sadly, that time passed. And now, I mean, now I look back, when I look back, I don't even look back at the 90s. I look back at 2019. 2019 was a magical time because, fuck, I mean, if you had a 401k going on, it was going on. And, the elites come along and they're like, we got to do Event 205 and figure out how to stop the middlemen, the merchant class from getting ahead in life, because we have to put everybody in financial slavery. And that's exactly what fucking happened with the COOF, with the Wuhan flu. Here we are today. And what do you do, Bruce? Well, I paint miniatures and I suck shit in grease. So that's what we do. And Janet just gets on her Patreon and does live streams, and she does a lot of good movie reviews, and she talks to a lot of fine people in various shared chats on the X, or what used to be called Twitter.
Yeah, I don't. This is you're the only one I do reviews with.
You can go do reviews with other people if you so choose.
I know, but I haven't. That's what I'm saying. I haven't.
And I understand that, and I value you either way if you want to do it with me exclusively or otherwise. But like the other day, we started talking about movies for like 5 minutes, and it was a split panel between me, Bear, James. We were all talking about the movie that I don't really want to name much, and they were like, some of them loved it, some of them were like, God, that movie sucks. And I was just like, okay, well, you guys kind of convinced me to maybe let it go another 6 months. Maybe if I can stomach Jack Black for 2 hours, maybe I'll look at it. I know for the longest time, Jack Black was put out there. Anytime Jack Black had something new going on, here comes MTV's commercials and advertising every fucking thing he does. Even whenever they were selling the Never Ending Story 3, when that first came out, that got a lot of commercial play in the Midwest. Oh, you have to see this movie. It's got Jack Black in it. I don't want to see anything with that guy's name in it. I'm sorry, that doesn't appeal to me. And then, God damn it, he's just one actor that I really wish the agenda hadn't gotten behind. Whatever he says, he must read it verbatim off the script, because he is a darling of the media. He still is today. He's on Disney Plus and in the Star Wars movies or Star Wars shows. All right, I'll shut up about JB now. This film really is a good movie to have on with your kids. It's a good movie to share with them, to show them the technology level that we had at the time. Not everybody's got smartphones and such. And
Which one? This movie?
yeah, this movie here.
Oh, well, it depends on how old your kid is, whether I'd want them to watch it. With the one scene at the beginning, where a girl gets down between his legs while he's trying to hack.
I would watch this with a 12-year-old child.
Well,
I would. He's already gonna watch shit when he's 8 years old. If you give your kid a tablet at grandma's house, he's running in the other room.
Yeah, but that's different. If a kid does it on his own and he knows he's not supposed to do that, that's one thing. But a parent sitting down with their kid watching it, no, I don't.
A 12-year-old kid, absolutely I would, because I know for a fact if my kid's going over to his buddy's house, they're gonna watch stuff. They're gonna get on the internet. They're gonna watch HBO or Skinamax or whatever it is when my viewing time. And at the very worst, my kid's going to see his very first blowjob with Hugh Jackman when he's 12 years old. Oh my God, that's going to ruin him forever. No more Bible study for you, young man. That's
as a parent, I wouldn't.
Well, as a parent, I would. And I mean, I think I like this movie. Okay, he's already playing Call of Duty, so the gore's not going to affect him. I mean, the fuckers running around on Fortnite bitching about the fact there's no sniper scope or the shit on that game. And how do we know? Well, when I squeeze this thing here, or I pull this trigger on the Xbox controller on the mouse, I don't see a big red splotch on the back and have that guy go up. No, the 12 years old kid's making decisions on what he's going to watch anyway. He's already making decisions what movies he wants to have in his collection. If he's thinking of hard copy media. If not, he's thinking I need to get hard drives so I can have all the stuff from blah 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 blah. But this movie is not that bad. And in all honesty, like, okay, there's some things that are adult themed. Yeah, I would rather my child be open-minded enough to where he could see that certain things are going to go on, and no matter how much of a good person he might be, if I save myself till I'm 17 to watch this, or if I save myself till I'm 12, neither of them change the outcome of the movie. It does have a very convincing narrative that no matter what you think the good guy side might be on, it's not going to be so cut and dried. They fucking tell you it's a show in this film. And 12-year-old kid, my 12-year-old kid watching this, I could just see a little boy looking at me like, Dad, is that what happens with bad people? That's what happens with bad people. Because I know that question would pop out of the kid's mouth. Because when Cecil watched it, he had a 14-year-old kid with him, and the 14-year-old's like, man, do you think he did well enough to hack? And I'm like, well, obviously Hugh Jackman's brains didn't go splatter everywhere. The other hacker wasn't so lucky. He got shot from a different angle. He didn't even make it to the tryout stage. So obviously they had their idea of who would be a better hacker in the first place. I think this movie stands up well enough to where I think a man should show this. I'll even put this out here. A parent should be the one to introduce their kids to Vice. The reason why I say that is that as an Italian man, my father took me to my grandfather's house and I had my first cups of wine there. Not cups all in one day. You get a quarter cup for this year. You get a quarter cup for this year. You just get a little bit. Each serving is only like 2 ounces. And you get accustomed to it. And the kid doesn't go ape shit on alcohol. I really don't drink to excess. I drink maybe 3 a day. I'm kind of kicking myself for not grabbing beers right now because I have an overstock of beer in my fridge. I need to drink it, suck it down. That way I don't have to move it at the end of the month in my new house. But the thing is that my parents introduced me to Vice. My dad is there, and my dad was there. He watched a few movies that had excessive nudity and gore, but he wanted to be the one to do that. That way he could monitor my response and be there to answer questions whenever there was anything going on in the movie that I had a question about. So you can't say, like, I don't think they should be 12. I don't think they should be 8. I don't think they should be 17. The parent will figure it out. The parent.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. And I'm already telling you, if I had a kid that was 12, I wouldn't feel comfortable watching this with them.
Well, in today's age, I don't have a choice as to what games EA markets, but if they're going to keep marketing Call of Duty or Modern Warfare, I can guarantee you when my kid goes over to somebody else's house, somebody's going to have a console and they're going to fire up some military sim shooter, and my kid's going to see someone's skull rocking off someone's neck, and
Mhm.
they're going to go ape shit over that. Like, oh my God, let's do that again. And they're going to try to do that 50 times in 2 hours. So I'm pretty certain that I'm not going to get that cherry. I'm not going to get that chance to do that. But I'm going to tell you that for anything of a more serious adult nature, I sure as hell want to be the one that's responsible for showing them that the degeneracy of your child was caused by you. Well, yeah, but like at least the kid was there and he saw what was going on. He had an idea of the context of why the fellatio was in place in the first place. The fellatio is not the main reason why it's going on. It's not for his betterment. It's to see how well he does under stress, and more so, it shows you and illustrates to you how evil and warped fucking John Travolta's character is. I thought that was perfect. I thought that really outlined just how nasty of a character he was. I mean, Gabriel's just a dick throughout the entire movie. And he might like have a turn at one point where he's not a megalomaniac trying to kill everybody, but then you see a side of him about midway through Act 1, Act 2, where he's still a dick, but now he's acting in the betterment of the people around him. Man, this guy just doesn't really have a floor, does he?
Well, the thing is, as it unfolds at the very beginning when he's speaking and he's talking about what makes a movie good and what makes a movie not good, blah, blah, blah. He's going through all these details. And then he goes into the details again about different operations, like Operation Swordfish. Have you ever heard of it? And he says, no. So he starts talking about it. And then when he goes and meets the senator before he kills him, so most everything he's saying is true, because if he can just fly a helicopter right up to a senator and know where he's at and land out in the middle of nowhere where he's trout fishing, I think he does work for the government. I think he used to be a soldier. I bet who knows, he's what do we call Navy SEAL, or the elitist, the elite of those type of soldiers. So you believe a lot of it if you pay attention to what's going on and who he's around and what he has access to. You start to understand that he's programmed to do these things. These are the things. This is his job. It's like a government inside the government inside the government. Just like when Hillary Clinton was asked about her top secret emails going through, was some of them, when they finally declassified them and showed that she did have all this stuff on her server in her bathroom, that she had stuff that was so top secret it was even higher than top secret. It was only for very, very 5 or 6 people in the whole government to be able to see. So when you have people, different levels of government, and he's talking about it, to me, he became more and more believable as a double agent or a secret agent for our own government to go and do these things. And because a senator can't be hindered with worrying about it. He just wanted to make sure certain things got done, because he did whatever in the backroom deal to make sure that this thing would happen, and he's going to have it happen. And if he can't get it to happen, then we have to cut it off right now and have to cancel it because I don't want my name connected to it. That's all the dirty entwines that we have right now going on with our own government. That's why I liked his character. I thought that Gabriel did a great job at being a person, like when he said, I don't even know who I am. I've had to change my identity so many times. I don't even remember who the real me is. Okay. And the same thing with Halle Berry's character. No one knows who she is. She's a ghost, but apparently she's good at her job if she's still a ghost. Right. So that's why I thought it was great. I thought all of them, even the guy hacking into the government to get all this, what was it, $900 billion or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay, it was a shit ton of money, and that was all been laundered for many, many years, since, what was it, the 1950s or 60s is what he said. And that's the money that he needs to keep funding the government. He goes, how many people are going to attack Americans overseas when they know what we're going to do to them? Because it said they bomb a church, we bomb 20. We destroy 20. They killed this many people. We go out and kill multiple amounts of people. We do this. We retaliate every time. And it's stuff that You can't just say, hey, we're going to send our troops over there, because what does everybody say? I don't want my soldiers dying for that cause. Well, they don't have to. We just send over the right equipment and take care of it. Happens all the time. And, all of it to me was very believable. So I thought it was really, really good. I thought the intrigue was to the top. I mean, it was through the whole movie. You were just pulled along, and the intense really never dies down. From that moment that woman gets blown up, and you see the camera going, all the way around, and you see it from every angle, the intensity to me, and you're not knowing who's who, who to trust, who you can't trust. And then when he goes to get his daughter, and he finds her stepdad murdered and his ex-wife murdered laying on the bed, he freaks out because he doesn't know where his daughter is. But Gabriel had to take him because he knew that he was gonna lie, because he knew who he was. He's programmed, trained to know what the next step's going to be before it even gets there, or this could happen and this could happen. So I had to be prepared for both of these things. And what did you do? He brings Halle Berry's character in and says, string her up. And he's just to the point. And now who's going to believe him if he says, well, okay, if you just do what I ask? No one's going to listen to him. He's gotten to the point where he just says, do this now. And they do it. And he's seen him. And then he shoots her right afterward. He kills her. At least he thinks she's dead. And she just lays there. He goes, she was DEA. And he just walks off like it's no big deal. He's believable, and he has to be. He cannot doubt himself at all if he's going to be successful. I thought it was tremendous. I thought he did a tremendous job.
I love I love the movie. I thought it does a very good job, very, very vicious job of yanking you as a viewer along through this fucking roller coaster ride.
Definitely.
100%
agree.
This is the resume of the director of this movie, and Janet and I both keep talking about how it's just pulls you along, spoons you along, just forces you down this pathway through the forest. And if you're not seeing this guy is a director, a music director, and he starts playing some real big players at the 80s, Janet Jackson, Richard Marx, Sting, Fleetwood Mac, Bryan Adams, Sting again, Tony Childs, Sheena Easton. And so he's directing all these music videos. This guy knows how to hold your attention for 3 to 5 minutes. And he does a very good job of holding your attention. So when this movie is given to him, when he starts working on it, he knows exactly how he's got to keep you, the viewer, in your seat, not going anywhere else. And so Swordfish came out in 2001. He's done a few things since then. He hasn't really done much since Season of the Witch. That's a good movie. I enjoyed it. I would recommend people watch that. But Dominic Sena, great guy. Great guy behind the camera. I don't know how he is personally.
What I was trying to find out is I did read that a stuntman hurt his spine during this movie. Okay, hopefully my daughter get the door. But this guy fell because Vinnie Jones was going to do a stunt. Mm-hmm. And John Travolta said, no, let's let the stunt people do it. The stuntman did it, and he was like 70 feet up, and the line broke, and he fell. And this guy broke his spine. And I was trying to find out who he was, because there was a documentary that came out, and the guy that did this documentary about the stuff that goes on with kids and stuff behind the scenes, and he became a born-again Christian during his struggle to get back to walk and stuff like that again. And he was a stuntman in Hollywood. I was just wondering if it was the same stuntman or not. And I can't look for it and search right now while we're doing this, but I sure would like to find out if it's the same gentleman. He came out with 2 documentaries about Hollywood and, stuff since he became a Christian.
Interesting.
Yeah, I wonder if it's the same guy, because he broke his back and he was going through that stuff, but I don't remember. I just wish I could know more, but I can't even remember the name of the documentary right this second. I hate getting stuck like that, but I had read that, and I was going to look it up earlier, but I didn't have a chance to, because we have to do everything right after, so I don't really have as much time as we used to look things up like I like. But I bet Hardwick can find it, find out if it's the same guy or not. I just can't remember. Do you know what documentary I'm talking about?
No.
Okay. Back when I was doing all the stuff about child trafficking and stuff, and this guy talked about different things that were done
3 years ago. Yeah.
with this guy was talking about how he believed that it was satanic and a lot of the things that they did in Hollywood or whatever. That's this guy, and I can't remember what his name is at all. I'm just blank right now. So, oh well. But I shared it with you. I shared that documentary and some other things with you in one of our first streams that we did on Rumble. I remember talking about it, but it's not The Eyes of the Devil. It's a different one.
David Holmes is the name that Google gives it, Janet.
David who?
David Holmes.
I'll have to look him up and find out if he made a documentary about it, about child trafficking and the evil stuff that goes on in Hollywood. Yep. Since he could no longer do stunts and stuff. It's the same guy. But basically, I've met Vinnie Jones a few times. He's a really good actor and he's a lot of fun. He's very courteous and nice to people. So I bet this set was a lot of fun too. I bet they had a lot of fun on this set making this movie. And I've met Halle Berry too. So I'm pretty lucky. So, but I think this movie was really, really good. I think the director did a phenomenal job at bringing the best out of all of his actors to work together and to be believable. The arguments between the FBI agents, the little things, just that to me is what makes a movie really good. If you have one really good actor, but they just don't work, they don't connect, it can ruin the movie. Like Mr. Brooks. I love Mr. Brooks. To me, I felt the same way. I felt like there was good chemistry between the actors in the movie to be believable between each other. Like the scene where he's in the apartment, he's going to let that guy kill someone and he pees himself, all that stuff. Everything about the way they reacted to each other in the movie was, you got a good director when you can get your actors to react to each other. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Realistically. And definitely saw that in this whole movie. The scenes with Hugh Jackman and John Travolta were very tense. And there was like underlining, like each of them would look at each other, not knowing what to expect going to come next. And the scene where he's in the car and they're being chased to have a hit done on Gabriel, right? And his character's in the car with him, even though he doesn't want to die, and he's not one of the hit. He's not even in on the hit. It's just to get rid of Gabriel, and Gabriel knows it. And when he gets out and does all those scenes with the machine gun, I just thought it was really cool. I just thought it was very intense and exciting. I just think, even for, there's not really even any romance in this. There's hints of seduction and intrigue when it comes, the chemistry, like with Halle Berry puts her hand on his thigh and he goes, "I thought you were Gabriel's." So there's like a smoldering something in there, and that's what she's for. That's her whole job, is to use that chemistry that she has on the people that she's trying to manipulate into doing the job that they need done. I just loved it. To me, and that's a real Black Widow, and we have that in the government. Like, what was it? What was her name? Marty Hardy or something? I can't remember. She was like one of the most famous spies. I can't remember.
I know who you're talking about. I just can't think of her damn name.
I can't either, but she was a seductress, basically. She could get men to do things that they normally wouldn't do. And you got to have a special talent to do that. And then you got the character of Black Widow in the Marvel comics. And basically, that's how she started out. She was an assassin, but she had to be a seductress also to get into where she needed to be and to get into vulnerable spots that other people wouldn't be able to, because she used sex and seduction and said the right things and knew what to say and when to say it. She was like in her genetic makeup.
It's kind of funny because a woman doesn't really have to do a whole lot of work in order to get a man to do what she wants.
A guy that's trained would know.
Yeah,
Just
a
like
guy that
007. You have to have someone else that can get in there in the cracks, unlike just some dumb bimbo at the coffee shop. Hi, hey, you want to meet me later for lunch? It can't be something like that. It's got to be somebody who takes control of the situation and gets them to say yes, even though they don't want to, or they know it's not the right thing, but they do it anyways. That's the kind of woman you got to have. And that's what Halle Berry's character was. She was believable. When I remember the first time I watched it and then she got shot, I thought she really was dead. And then when later on, when you see her withdrawing the money from the bank, you realize it was all an act just to get the guy to do the job he needed to do. And they needed it done. He said, I don't want to kill people. I don't want to kidnap your daughter. You made me. See, he puts it back on the other people because they really believe that they're doing the right thing. That's what makes it so good and so tense and exciting to me, I feel. And I think other people that would watch it, I think they might feel the same way. If they're, that's why I thought it was so good for now, because today it's like we're living in it. We're watching our government as we're getting more and more declassified documents. We're going, what the blank? Our government was involved in this and that and this. NFL, everybody's involved in all this bullshit. P. Diddy parties, all, just so much shit. It's just tons and tons of criminal stuff going on everywhere. Even churches, churches, every nook and cranny of everything has crime, criminals and scummy, disgusting people that you can't trust anyone. It's really scary. And that's why I thought it was so good. Sorry, I'll shut up for a few minutes to give you some time to talk. I thought it was really good.
Movie is going to be 26 years old in June of next year, 25 years old in June of next year. If you've seen this film, give us your score. I'll have Janet read off the score that you have for it.
Mm-hmm.
Next week, we're going to be watching a movie from 2008. Kind of coming up a little bit, but I'm on a kick for more Hugh Jackman because he's really a good fucking actor. And I don't know if many people saw a movie called Deception back in the day, but this is a movie that it's directed by Marcel Langenegger and Mark Baumbach with Ewan McGregor, Hugh Jackman, and Michelle Williams. Let's check out the trailer. Automatically, you can tell that Hugh Jackman's in the know, McGregor's not. And this is a turn for a lot of people. They've not ever seen Hugh Jackman not be Captain fucking shiny American patriotic, or at least some asshole from Canada. So, obviously.
So is it a sex club?
It's a special sex club.
Okay.
But this is not a movie I would show my 12-year-old, by the way.
Let's get that out. Anything.
I won't show him everything yet. He has to fucking earn it. He has to fucking go through life, get his first divorce in. Then I'll show him this. But the way how in decades past, before the 2000s, they didn't give you the entire fucking movie in the trailer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they wanted you to go see it to find out what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This movie, I've seen.
This is more.
This is a lot more. This movie, I've seen this once at a friend's house, and from like the third minute in, I was rooted to the couch. It was good.
The only thing that I have to figure out when I get to watch it is the fact that if you meet someone in this group, right, and you're not supposed to tell them your name, but you know what they look like because they're not wearing masks or anything. Mm-hmm. And what if you go to a meeting for your job and that person's there sitting across from you? See, the whole thing is, I don't know. It just seems kind of not believable that you wouldn't bump into these people somewhere in the business world if they're all involved in that. to be secret. You know what I mean? And that reminded me of something. I found one flaw in the movie that we watched, and it's the first time I remember seeing it, so I wanted to bring it up. The scene where you see him, Gabriel, walk to the car after he that flipped a couple times and blew up or started on fire. The people that were trying to assassinate him. Remember when he goes over there?
Yep.
Well, when he did and he walked away, he put his hand on the door of that car and then walked off. So they would have his fingerprints. So that was one mistake that I did see that they made in the movie that we just watched. And I want to remind people that if you want to watch that movie Deception next week with us, send me a DM or a message or whatever, or to Bruce on X or Discord, and let us know so you can watch the movie with us next week around 12:30 Central Time.
So we got like about 100 people watching. If you guys will enter your information on your movie review of this, if you saw it, that'd be great. We do have one review down here at the bottom. Go ahead, Janet, read this. It's from our friend Josh.
Oh, it's a well-placed action popcorn flick, and I'd give it a solid 70 out of 100. It's not the most accurate hacker film, but it isn't the worst I've seen. It holds up after 20 plus years as well, worth viewing. The only thing is, I didn't see it as a hacker film. They just needed a hacker to help them with their whole scheme about getting $900 billion.
It's a quality heist film, I thought.
Yeah, to me, it was a heist action drama. That's what it seemed like to me. Not really a hacker movie.
Thank you, baby girl. It is a good movie. I like it. I'm gonna rate this Swordfish on the same lines as what he did. I'm going to give it a 70 out of 100. I think it's the kinetic energy of it well worth outshines any real issues that a person might have with it. There are some issues with the show, but they're really not huge, glaringly obvious. It's not like watching Carrie Fisher tongue punch Mark Hamill's mouth in Empire Strikes Back 2 and have you argue for the next 3 decades. But there's some small things here and there, and it does warrant a little bit of discussion. Again, I would definitely let my teenage kid watch this movie. It's not the worst they're going to see, and at the very least, if they're in my house, I get a chance to intercept any questions they've got before they run off to the internet and get poorly schooled by Grok. Actually, Grok is the best of the AIs I've seen so far. Janet, how do you view this movie? Is this a 90?
Well, I'm definitely going to rate it higher than you guys did. I don't know why you guys would rate it lower than some of the other bombs, movies that I thought were a lot worse than this. The acting was high quality from all the leads. The story was believable. The sets were phenomenal. The backdrop was great. The action was good. There was very few mistakes that I saw. And I thought everybody did a great job. So I definitely I'd rate it at least a 9 out of 10 stars. I mean, I thought it was really, really good when it comes to all that for intrigue, and it kept your attention through the whole thing. The music didn't pull you out of it. The editing was excellent. The casting director did a great job picking each person, and their chemistry was good together. All the characters didn't seem like a character was just there for no reason. You know what I'm saying? Everybody had a purpose. Everybody did their job. So I definitely am going to rate it higher than that.
Let me defend my 7 out of 10.
No, that's fine. You can rate it whatever you want. I'm just saying I think it was a lot better of a movie than that.
The reason I'm rating it quote unquote so low is because I think this is one of those movies that actually does a good job of holding its worth over 30 years or over 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
The problem with the movie that I have is what pulls me out of it is the music. I think the music score is the worst part about it. It's not horrible. It's just excessively 2000s. Like it completely dates this movie to back then. Like I usually don't get all weepy about watching the towers falling anymore. I can generally watch the towers disaster going on and on and on repeat almost. But the moment that somebody starts, dropping the music at the time, that's when the feelings start. With this movie, the feelings kind of ended because I remember this excessive club mix that the movie had, and I remember all of that, and that kind of pulls me out of it. I understand that's like the standard sound of a 2000s or late 90s movie. Do not watch
Mhm.
Tomb Raider with Angelina Jolie unless you love a lot of bass. If you
Mhm.
love a lot of bass, crank that fucker up. That's going to take you back. But this movie kills it with the soundtrack whenever I'm trying to get immersed in like all the double dealings and all the double crosses and what's going on with Sam Shepard and why is he such a dick and why is there a helicopter landing in the pond? And then like I got some Casio keyboard stuff going on because we don't have synthesizers in the 2000 aughts. So, and that if this movie had been made in the 1980s, it definitely would have had a Casio keyboard musician from Tangerine Dream or somewhere else making this music for it, or the worst case scenario, Alan Parsons Project. But the soundtrack is the worst part about this movie. It's not a bad soundtrack. It's listenable when you drive. It is not a soundtrack that I felt paired well with the movie all the way through. Because all the way through the movie, it's this soundtrack. If you start the movie on one song and then you get to the end of the movie, there's not a single portion of the movie where it feels like they've altered the theme a bit. This movie is 99 or an hour and 39 minutes of techno music or early techno music from start to finish. And that's the worst part about the film. It's not bad. It's just that that was the only part of the movie I probably will watch it with a mute next time and with the captions. And it doesn't use extreme ad nauseum like the shit in the 90s. There's a Tony Scott film called Domino. Great movie. Watch it once, and you're like, "Wow, that was great." It was had a lot of high energy in it. You watch it the second time. If you've had a beer, you want to vomit because the camera never stays steady, and it's one of those movies, and it kind of has a soundtrack to boot because Domino is not exactly drug free. Um,
Well,
good. I
I
think
liked the music. I thought the music fit for what the lifestyle of the person they were all trying to get, which was Gabriel's character. They
mhm.
were trying to find out who he was, who he worked for, and they wanted to find out why this person was trying to hire one of these. Well, first off, they wanted to hire that one world renowned hacker, which was not supposed to ever come back to the United States of America, but he was there. So that immediately made him wonder what was going on. They just didn't realize how big it was going to be. The thing is, when Halle Berry's character says she's DEI, okay, to get him to believe her, to
CIA.
know, huh?
She's CIA.
No, she wasn't. She worked for Gabriel.
Oh, okay, but you said she was DEI, and I'm
Yeah.
like, wait,
Isn't
DEI?
that what she said?
I don't believe so. I thought I know she said a three-letter agency, but I know she wasn't diversity
She
equity.
didn't say CIA. He said she was DEI when she was dead after he shot her.
Well,
But you can look it up real quick and see if I'm right or not. But the reason she told him that was to get him because he saw her, he walked in on her, and she planned on him walking in on her when she's at a vulnerable part in her life where she's dressing. A woman getting dressed and being startled where she whips out a weapon and he's like, "What's going on? You either got to tell me this or whatever. I already, you know all about me, blah, blah, blah." It was like a bonding thing. And she knew exactly how to play him. And that's what her job is. Just like I said, she's a Black Widow and she's working for Gabriel to get him to help him get this guy to hack for them because they knew they needed this person that could get in there and that had probably, because of his past, put back doors in to make it more accessible to get back in later on. Even though, because all hackers don't believe they're ever going to get caught, they think they're the best one. and to use that against him. The whole scene where she put his hand on his leg and knowing that Gabriel's going to come back in, and the scene where she was vulnerable without her clothes on and Gabriel's down the hallway, he wouldn't normally say, Ginger, like he's coming, but he did that to intensify the moment between them, where he takes the wire, and she knew she sold it as soon as he put that in his pocket. See what I mean? She knew she did her job, but we didn't. You don't realize that until later on when you see her live at the end of the movie, going and get the money transferred to all the different accounts, even amount of money that he had helped hack and get, because he thought his daughter's life was in danger. But just like Gabriel said, you made me do this. I didn't want to involve your daughter in this. You did. See, because he already knew that he was going to do something like that to stop him from being able to get the money. So they had to take the daughter because she was already there. See, he already knew before he knew he was even going to do it, what he was going to do, because he knows the people he's hiring and bringing in. See, that's what made it so phenomenal of a movie. And the story was just so good. I don't even know. We didn't even talk about the writer, but the script writer was kick ass to keep you on a thin line, a thread. You're walking on a thread the whole time in pins and needles, not knowing who's going to fuck the other person over or who's involved in what. There's so many things going on at one time. You cannot stop watching. You want to watch it. And to me, the music never took me out of that. And the music followed the high impact of the whole story to me. At least that's how I felt through the movie. And I hope the other people get to watch it, agree with me. And if you have seen it, you can tell us in the chat whether or not you thought it was any good, or whether you liked the music or you didn't, or if you liked the acting, or what you felt was the best in the movie. But to me, I thought it was definitely a 9 out of 10 stars. That's how I rate it. And I thought it was great. I mean, it's right up there with a bunch of other movies. The Prestige, I gave it the exact same rating. I thought it was an excellent done movie. Story was great. It kept you on the tightrope. You didn't know who was good, who was bad, who was involved, who wasn't, until the end, like you're supposed to. It keeps you thinking and guessing. And I love that. I love a movie that I don't have it when you get to the ending and you go, oh, I already knew it from the beginning. And it makes you leave the movie theater going, oh, well, another one of those. But I didn't have it figured out the first time I watched it. And it was still very intriguing and still great acting all the way through, even though I've seen this multiple times.
So the writer for this movie, he wrote dialogue for Bruce Willis in Live Free or Die Hard, or Die Hard 4. Mm-hmm. And instead, they used that same dialogue for A Good Day to Die Hard, which came out in 2013. We shan't talk about that movie ever. That is a bad movie. That is a horrible movie. I'm sorry it's part of the Die Hard franchise. It is a bad movie. There's no way to... It makes Live Free or Die Hard look like a masterpiece. And the first 3 Die Hard films look fucking immaculate. Mm-hmm. He directed a movie in '98 called Thursday. And then he...
what's his name?
Skip Woods.
Skip Woods.
Swordfish, A Good Day to Die Hard, executive producers. Sabotage in 2014, an Arnold film that I've not seen all the way through.
Hitman? He wrote Hitman?
He wrote...
Or the second one?
I believe this is a game. I'm not certain.
Oh. Well, Hitman was freaking great movie, too.
This is apparently part 2, or Hitman from 2015. And I never saw this. I never knew this movie existed. I thought this was a video game because it's a Hitman series. But he wrote for the Hitman movie. And it's not sitting horribly. It's at 5.7. Those are generally watchable. But I'll have to share this. Okay. So here's the Hitman film that I just clicked on. But apparently it's on Prime Video. And Agent 47. There's another one with Timothy Olyphant. It's not horrible. It's actually kind of enjoyable. This has got Angela.
I thought it was very intense. Not as good as this movie, though. Definitely not.
No, the movie we just watched was really fucking good, I thought. I thought it, for a 25-year-old film and 24-year-old film, it does a very good job of conveying everything it needs to, within an hour and 39-minute runtime. It did very well.
Hmm.
Um,
I thought so.
I thought it was very well done. Directed by Alexander Bach. Not going to worry about that. Anyway, Skip Williams, he was producer, or Skip Woods was producer for Hitman Agent 47. Sabotage, not a very well received Arnold film, I might add. Most Arnold movies are really high up, like a 6.1 or 2. I think Sabotage and Raw Deal are among the bottom of his barrel. Aside from Hercules in New York, which is a very good movie if you want to see Arnold in his completeness, because he's as best as he can. He's trying to act in that movie, and he gave a good effort. It's not a great film, but if you're interested in seeing what somebody would do with Arnold Schwarzenegger in the role of Hercules in New York, that's not a bad movie. It's watchable. Hitman and Hitman Gag Reel and Hitman Alternate Ending, all from 2007. This is a Timothy Olyphant film. He wrote that. Uh,
Yeah, I thought that was good. I thought it was a very good, intriguing concept of raising kids from the very young age to become a professional hitman. You know what I mean? That's
mhm.
what they do. That's all they're do nothing but live and breathe learning how to kill.
So then he
I thought
wrote
it was very intriguing.
the screenplay for Wolverine, which
I
was
love that one too.
uh,
Wow. The A Team? Wow, that's
he
good.
wrote the
Because I
18
like that one
movie.
too.
He wrote the movie for A Good Day to Die Hard, and he wrote
I haven't seen
Sabotage.
Sabotage, so
You have or no?
haven't. Never heard of it.
It's a Schwarzenegger film. It's towards the bottom on IMDb. I've seen part of it, and it did not hold my interest. I'm sorry about that. It just didn't hold it. That's all. It's nothing
I've never
wrong with
seen
it.
it,
It's
so
there's movies you like that don't hold my interest, and that's okay. You know. Um, but Skip Woods, he's got two films in development. Wrote In Defense of Sleeping Beauty and Kane and Lynch. I have no idea what those are about, but this guy, he wrote Thursday, which is highly rated according to these guys, and then Agent 47, they have a 5.7 and 6.5 over here. He's been involved with the Hitman series, so apparently the creators at Ubisoft like him to keep him on and write about their video games.
mhm.
Okay,
But
so the
that's my score.
you gave it a 9 out of 10, and that's kind of
Mhm.
respectable. I'm not saying that's bad. I just I wouldn't rate it that high. I thought it was good. The music is what I noticed this time. The first time I watched the movie, I remember just like how pissed I got at Gabriel because he was just not the guy I thought he would be, and my friends thought I was just an evil son of a bitch. But I was also reading a lot of G. Gordon Liddy at the time, and I just finished the book Will, the second go through of Will. Which, if you ever studied G. Gordon Liddy, that was his pretty much moment where he's in prison and there's pieces of shit commies all around him, and he vows that, you know what, I'm going to be a good American. I'm going to try my best. I know that certain things will never come out to make me look like a good guy, but I'm going to at least enjoy my fucking life. And I love the book Will. I thought that was really good. And then when he got out of prison, when he was pardoned by Carter, it talks about how him and his wife got back together, and the press corps tried following him, and it turned into a high speed chase in, I believe it was Poughkeepsie, New York, and he evaded them eventually. But it got pretty scary because the media vans are trying to follow him, and he knows all the old back alleys and such. They have no clue. But the first time I saw this movie, I was just kind of disappointed in Gabriel because I was expecting somebody larger, somebody with more of a. He felt like he didn't have a moral center. He felt very aberrant, and that's okay because it it's not real life. One and two, it causes a dialogue between the movie viewers. Like me and Janet, we don't agree on everything on this film, and that's great.
Well, the one thing about him though is he's got all characters and all stories are supposed to have a character arc, and they evolve throughout the movie or the TV series, depending on, or multiple series, whatever. And that is what the core of a story is supposed to be, is what happens to the characters throughout their lifetime in the story, right? So if you think right off the bat from watching it from the very beginning that you see it, it's during a robbery of a bank, what you think, and you see the way he talks and the way he's commanding the scene, right? Like an arrogant dickhead, okay? Because that's what he's supposed to be, a bank robber at the time. And that's what everybody's supposed to believe he is. But then once that scene's over and it goes back to the beginning where they first, you see the guy coming into the airport, and then they end up confiscating him basically because they realize that who he is, and they're keeping him. They're delaying it because they got a blip on their facial recognition stuff. That's part of the story too, was where they're talking about the using, what was it? I'm trying to find it. Let me look for it real quick. Damn it.
Janet, can I
The technical, the part where they're using facial recognition and they're tracking you online and they're doing all this, and that was the beginning of people talking about, I don't want to be tracked, I don't want them to know where I'm at, but now everybody has a cell phone, so they always know where you are.
We always leave a digital trail wherever we go.
Yeah, so basically that's what it was starting off, was that part of it. Then you think he's a terrible terrorist, like the guy that did the Oklahoma City bombing. So you're thinking of him in that term. But as his character evolves through the movie, you realize that he works for the government. He's been doing it for 30 years, basically, doing these type of things where he gets the money, he gets rid of the people that he's told to get rid of. He goes in unseen, takes what he needs, does whatever, and gets out. And he's part of the government. And our government's been doing this all along.
Over and over again.
Yeah. So basically, you find out through his character who he is by his character arc. So he isn't just a terrorist. He's not just
I need alcohol.
a person that robs banks or kidnaps people. He's not that. He's basically the strong arm of our government. That's basically what his character is. And it's played out, and he ends up killing a senator. And a lot of people would applaud that, because we got rid of part of the government. That's the problem, a crooked piece of shit. And that's what he was doing. He was hiring someone to take people out. And what did he do when he was told no, that I'm not going to quit doing this because you're the one that wanted me to do this? I've changed my I don't even know who I am anymore. I've changed my persona so many times for doing jobs for you, basically. So when he said, no, I'm not quitting, the senator gets on the phone and calls some other crooked people and says, take this guy out. They bring him in and he takes all of them out. So you are learning he's a very strong-willed military person, works in the CIA or the DEA or DEI or whatever. I don't remember. I can't remember now.
It's the DEA.
Was it DEA? Okay,
Yes.
the DEA. That's what she said. She works for the DEI, Department of Internal Affairs, whatever it is.
Drug Enforcement Agency.
Huh?
Drug Enforcement Agency. It's always about drugs.
Oh. Okay.
It's always about drugs. Get those ferried in. We can.
That's what's DEA stand for?
Drug Enforcement Drug Enforcement Agency.
Is that what it said she was supposed to be?
I believe so.
Okay, well, I'll have to look it up because I still want to know for sure. But the thing is that that's why I rated it as high as I did, because I felt that all the character arcs, you see a father who gets out of prison, he's a criminal and he wants to do better for his daughter. He loves her and he wants to make a relationship with her, but he needs money to fight against the porn king, basically. And he wants to do it, but since it seems like easy money, he wants to do that. But when he goes through that interview, he starts to change his mind, and she has to be sent in to make him come back, by making him think that there's more there than there is, that type of thing. So they all did their parts. They all had character arcs, and they all did a phenomenal job, because she had to make him follow through, which she did. And he thought that she died because of it. And he got his daughter back. So it all worked out, and he didn't get in the middle of anything because they did kidnap his daughter, and they felt like he didn't have a choice, basically. So it all worked out, just like what she said. It's all going to work out, and you're going to get your daughter back. That's because they already knew they were going to kill her husband and her to get him his daughter back. See, so they did kill people that really weren't involved, that were just low life porn producers. You know what I mean? So they did do bad things, but they did it they felt for the betterment of the millions of people in the United States of America, that type of thing. So it depends on where you're sitting when you watch a movie, whether you think that they're communists and they deserve to die, or if you believe that you want to be in a socialist country, or
You're
whether
making that sound like it's optional. If you're communist, you deserve to die.
No, I'm just
But the
saying.
thing is, everybody gets to die. It's just communists die.
Just what I'm saying, depending on where you're sitting when you're watching the movie, where you are here, on what you're going to take out of the movie, just like any movie, we all do that. So to me, from the first time I watched it till now, I still feel the same way. I still feel like they all played their part. They all did what they had to do or felt they did. But in this movie, as actors, I thought the movie was intriguing. It held me through the whole movie, and I didn't feel like any of it was terrible enough to give it a worse rating, because I didn't think there was enough mistakes or anything in it to bring it down. And usually editing is one of the biggest things for me. It's not always the music. Sometimes it's the music, but not very often. Usually the music is not as irritating as it could be. But editing is really one of the big things for me. If it looks all chopped up, or the story doesn't connect properly and there's gaps, which this one didn't. It was almost like it was just filmed straight through. You know what I mean? And they did a good job, I felt, in keeping you going and keeping you in your, on the edge of your seat to watch it. So I'm done explaining all that. But that's all I wanted to say.
I think that kind of wraps up the discussion we had for the stream. I mean, this was a very well put together movie with a good cast, good crew. I want to see more, and so next week we're going to watch more Hugh Jackman. But Janet, can I borrow $2,000? I need $20,000, Janet.
I wish I had it.
Do you have $20,000 for me? Let me show you why Bruce needs.
I wish I did.
I'll show you why. This is why. I want to film shit like this. This makes me so happy that we are in this society.
You got a cell phone. You can make your own movie. Pretty much.
I need the volume up on this. Yep, the volume is up.
Timeline is excited about 20K. Okay.
It's trying to figure out how to close the dishwasher.
This is a robot you hired to do housework?
You bought for $20,000, or you rent for $500 a week.
That's about the cost of a maid, I guess. But it loaded it? It loaded the dishwasher?
Apparently.
Okay.
It's just having trouble. This is the future, kids. Blue screen error, death, and everything. I mean, aren't you guys fucking excited about this shit? Back to the fucking garage for you, faggot.
Oh, so you don't want to buy one then?
Fuck no. I don't know.
I thought I was getting excited thinking you were wanting to get a robot to come in your house.
Never. Fuck no. I every time like some new AI update comes on my apps or on my PC. No, how do I uninstall that shit? I don't need that. I don't work with my hands enough. I want to work with my hands more. I don't want something to work my hands for me or do stuff without my consent. It just it doesn't.
Well, honestly, if I could hire a real nice looking guy for $500 a month just to come and clean my house, that would be more worth it than a robot.
Attention, Arkansas men. If you take good care of yourself, if you have a flat belly, if you can look down right now and your chins don't block your vision and you can see your dick when you hang it out to pee, then you might be eligible to be one of Janet's future housekeepers. Janet and her daughters would love to have your company for just a couple times a week and just watch you go around the house. If need be, Janet will dress you up in a French maid outfit and watch you feather dust every horizontal surface, and she will follow closely behind you, especially if you smell good. And she
Yeah,
will
and I'll
white
flip a
glove.
coin on the bed when you make it too to
You
see
will
if
white
it's nice
glove
and tight.
everything. You want to do this. Janet is a very fair employer, and for $500 a week, you're going to be in poverty in no time. Okay, so thank you so much for being here, everyone, and all. We watch the movie Deception next week. Janet, you want to let us out?
I hope you want to come see it. Watch a movie with us next week. That'll be fun.